Oh, somebody just raised their hand. Perfect timing. So let's invite them to speak. AN365. Let's invite you up. If you just click hello AN365, how are you? You can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
We can. What's your name?
Awesome. My name's Alexandra. Thank you so much for taking this question.
Absolutely.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. So I am 25 years old and I would love to get married, and I have never been in a relationship ever, which is completely fine because my eyes are on Jesus. However, I just got a job and I'm so thankful for the job that I have because I was unemployed for about 9 months. So during those 9 months, I was going to daily mass, focusing on Jesus, and then he blessed me. So I guess now I'm kind of concerned because, I don't know how long I'm going to be single for, right? But is it bad if I try to move up as far as I can in the current position that I have, especially since, I have to take care of myself, I have to eat and everything. So I just am wondering, I don't want to be too masculine and I don't want to be like those career women that men run away from, if that makes sense. So I guess my question is, how do I maintain my femininity while, I guess, just trying to climb up the corporate ladder? Not because that is what I value, but just because I think it's important to take care of yourself. And I live in a single parent household. I love to take care of my mom, help her with retirement. My brother, he's also in college. So that's my question.
Yeah, I would say pursue your dreams, pursue your goals, because a lot of times the job is something that we do in order to get to somewhere we want to be. My real hobby isn't, working in a cubicle from 9 to 5, but by doing this, it frees me up to do X, Y, and Z. I can tithe more to the church. I can go on these amazing vacations. I can do X, Y, Z. For some people, their job, is their dream, but for 90+% of people, it's maybe not their dream. So for you, climbing up the corporate ladder to me does not make you more masculine. It does not make you less feminine, in my opinion. In fact, if you meet a guy, I think he'll want you to succeed for your sake, if this is your dream. And if he sees, no, this isn't her dream to just climb up the corporate ladder and just, have this stuffy CEO position where she's working 9 to 5 and overtime every single week, he'll see your heart that no, my career is not my life, but I've become competent and successful. To me, a good guy wouldn't be intimidated by that. I don't think you'd even want to end up with a guy who would be intimidated by that. You want a guy who makes your dreams his dreams. Crystalina recommended the other day, let's put up this huge bulletin board in the bedroom, framed, all nice, and that's just totally blank, and let's just fill it with the dreams together. Maybe one day we can get a cabin, and then, on our 25th wedding anniversary, let's go back to Bora Bora where our honeymoon was. And let's just start pasting all of our dreams together and kind of dream casting together, and then just try to achieve those things as a couple. And so to me, there's nothing wrong in getting a head start in terms of what your dreams are. If a guy is intimidated by the fact that you happen to be successful, maybe it's because he lacks motivation or confidence and security in his own life. So I wouldn't say that you should feel any obligation whatsoever to hold back the best potential for what you could be, because you can bring the weight of your feminine genius to that corporation and make it a better place and, help the employees. And I remember just one story back, I was working once with a publisher and came out with a book on natural family planning. And they decided, let's have a meeting with all the execs here and decide what we want your book to be named. And when I show up at the meeting, there's about, 8 or 10 guys, and there were no women. And immediately I'm like, oh, we'll see what comes out of here. And when the meeting, was kind of clear, they said, well, we decided what we really want your book to be named is Love, Sex, and Babies. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, we really think it's good. But I'm thinking okay, they're going to introduce me to talk. Our author today is Jason, author of Love, Sex, and Babies. I'm like, no. But they went with it. And I just thought, man, if we just had one woman in that meeting, she'd be like, fellas, no, that's not the title we're going with. We got to pick something else. And, ended up being able to get the rights to the book and retitled it Pure Intimacy or whatever. But that being said, the place of a woman, whether it's, in whatever occupation as a single woman, is a great gift, in my opinion, to that organization. So don't hold back the gifts that you hope to give. I don't think that would stand in the way of you finding your vocation, but I'm sure Crystalina's got some thoughts as well, but those are mine.
Are you afraid your ambition is going to make you unattractive to men? within your company somehow?
In the company or the dating pool?
I'm asking. Just all around, like if you are successful, or is that something you're afraid of?
Yeah, because I went to a good school and the guys at the Catholic Center, they were like, no, like, I don't want my woman like working. And it was like a huge debate. And
Were you almost
I don't know. I don't
shamed?
think
Were
it
you
was, I don't think
shamed
it was
because of your?
wounding.
Were you ashamed because of your ambition? Like, were you shamed for it, or it seems like you? I don't know, that maybe to go like back to ABC terms. Is your light too bright for others that sometimes you're too much for them, that you feel like you have to dim it, and getting back in the workforce and the dating, that you don't want to be too much?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And it's like, and they don't mean it in a bad way. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, like, not everyone sees it so deeply, but it's just like, that's how I see it. So I don't
You know
really
what?
know.
I don't
Yeah.
want just
I'm going to pull up that quote from the Soulmate book that you put in there. Remember that one?
yeah.
Okay, while she talks, hold on.
This really irks me. And this is great. I'm so glad you brought this question up, because God did not give you the gifts, the talents, the mind, the capacity to problem solve, to have that ambition, to do what needs to be done, and to have that strength that pushes you. And it's a God-given wisdom and strength that you need to die to your own gifts to make other people uncomfortable around you.
Or feel more comfortable, yeah.
I feel like you do God actually a disservice when you do that, because you are not letting his gifts work through you as they should. And maybe your gifts are too much for some people, but that's also shining light on their own insecurity. And that is their problem, not yours. And if they want to start working against you or bringing you down or start making you feel insecure, I would ask God for the wisdom as you enter into this secular workforce. I'm assuming it's secular, to actually have the wisdom to see things as what's being, what the truth is being presented to you, and not what they're giving you. Does that make sense? Like, you're actually seeing people's intentions, and just ask for wisdom, because I think too many women out there dim the gifts and the light that God has given them because they're too busy people pleasing, when we need to be worried about God pleasing, right? And as long as you're in God's will and you're doing what he asks you to do, and you're not sinning or offending anyone, but you know you're doing what's right and you're doing it to the best of your ability, if that makes someone feel insecure, upset, or bothered, just remember you're just shining light on their inadequacies, and they don't like that. And so they can turn on you, but at the end of the day, every day you want to go to bed, and if you meet God one day saying, I did everything to the best of my ability, and I've done everything that you asked me in the positions you've given me, period. Does it help?
Yeah, and it's frustrating that the guys at the campus were like that. I mean, what do they want you to do? Like stand outside of the Newman Center with a sign that says like hungry? Like, I mean, like, what are you going to, I mean, yeah, no. So this is, I don't know if you want to read this or you want me to read it, but this was toward the end of our book, How to Find Your Soulmate Without Losing Your Soul. Crystalina felt that this was something God was speaking to her heart, and she kind of wrote down this letter. But what she was saying was just echoing in my heart this. So here's the letter that Crystalina wrote before we met for what she felt God was saying to her. Why do you always seek man's approval? You're always wondering, do I look pretty enough? Do I sound smart enough? With a shadow of insecurity hovering above you, you're always trying to keep others interested. Meanwhile, you give yourself away while ignoring your gut. Don't be controlled by the amount of attention and approval you receive, and stop being ashamed of yourself. Your worth can't come from who you're with, what you wear, or what others think of you. Are you scared to admit your own self-worth? Do you keep your true beauty, gifts, and talents so locked away and hidden from the world that you can't truly see how amazing you are? Are you afraid of shining so brightly that the light will scare others away? Do not shy away from who you are because you fear abandonment or the negative opinions of others. You take scraps from the world, but I have given you everything you need deep within you. Everyone's light is different and some brighter than others, but do not be scared of your own light, for it was put in you that others who are blinded by their own darkness could see your light. Why are you scared and sad? Why do you belittle yourself and dim your own light? Your light was made to shine. That is its purpose. Your self-worth is within you and has been given to you for a purpose. Your beauty, God's beauty, was given for a great reason as well. The darkness has tried to extinguish this beauty within, but it cannot. It will not be put out. At times, you allow your insecurities to overpower you and your thoughts run wild, but with Jesus' love, you can control any vice, wickedness, or evil weapon that comes against you. It's time to rise up, unafraid of who you are, embrace it. And do not lower yourself or hide, because the power of my love and grace will always be there to catch you and show you the way. I will catch you, but will you let me? And deep down, you know who you are and what you're supposed to do. Stop lowering yourself to the world. Start rising to heaven. Even though it might seem far away, it's truly all around you. Heaven is watching, praying, and cheering you on. You have a whole army of angels and saints waiting, want you to succeed in your battle. But the biggest battle of all will be with yourself. Know who you are and what you are not. You are a beloved daughter of Jesus, he who is God. So to me, that was written, I think, for every woman who kind of doubts her light. But yeah, I'd say plow. Just because there's some college guys who are like, no, I don't want even to have her. I want her to be barely literate. I mean, I don't know what it is these guys expect, but no, you pursue your goals and your dreams, and God willing, if God's calling you the sacrament of marriage, he'll bring a guy into your path, but is not intimidated by your gifts, but rather is inspired by them. That does not perceive you as a threat to his masculinity, but rather a compliment to him and a partner in the vineyard, because you're competent, you're smart, you're intelligent, you're ambitious. These are not masculine traits, they're virtuous traits.
Does that help you?
Amen to that. Thank you guys so much.
Wait, before you
wonderful.
go, when you're discerning marriage and you're dating, make sure your significant other can handle your gifts and that wants you to succeed, that you actually see him helping you and lifting you up, and you're almost doing things together. And I hope, and I will be praying, that God brings you someone to work with in the vineyard, and not just someone that you're serving. Yes, you'll do that, but also that you're able to work together and to build the kingdom of God, and that he's not going to expect you to lower yourself or your standards or your living or your gifts to be with him. Don't do that to yourself, because your significance is not in your significant other. You already have that in Jesus, and he obviously has endowed you with many gifts, and to use them well and to use them wisely. I was in adoration today and I read the most unbelievable quote by, I believe it was Saint Augustine. Okay, this was awesome, because your humility also in all of this is going to be a protection and a weapon. And it's something that everybody has in their arsenal. And it's one of the bigger ones that we have, but that's very hard to use. Humility is a thing that everyone's scared of. Even to say the humility prayer, it's a scary thing. But when you have gifts, you're going to also have attacks, right? And when you're doing God's will, you're always going to be attacked not to do his will. And I read this quote that I thought was just beautiful and hit me between the eyes. And if I could find it quickly. Yeah, St. Thomas Aquinas said that, I'll hurry. I'm going. I'm sorry. It's so worth it, though, you guys. Oh, here it is. St. Augustine. It was pride that changed angels into devils. It is humility that makes men as angels. And it's just beautiful. But just stay humble in your gifts, but just stay close to Jesus in all things that you do. But find someone that you can work with together and that lifts you up. And that once you're married, he's not going to try to pull you down either.
Yeah, and just one note to encourage your heart. There are good guys out there who feel like, honestly, I really do want a wife who just wants to be home with the kids and whose love is and her heart is in the home with the children, that doesn't want to run off to corporate America and be gone from us and drop the kids off at daycare. But I feel like if I express any of that, I'm this misogynistic, patriarchal ogre. But I really would love to find a girl who has these values. And then let's say this good guy meets you, but you've got this big career. All it would take is a simple conversation on the first date of like, yeah, I'm climbing up the corporate ladder, whatever, been able to do X, Y, and Z, but you know, my heart's with the family. I'd love to, I feel called to the sacrament of marriage. And to me, family, married life, that would come first. And I would ditch all the success of the world, you know, just to be able to pursue one conversation. The guy would be like, keep her, you know, like this girl's on the same wavelength as I am, regardless of how many degrees she has in academia, whatever, you know, it's awesome. She's been the successful, but one conversation I think would be enough for a guy who's truly interested in you, who wants kind of a mom who prioritizes the family and a wife, for him to be able to diffuse all that fear of just like, even though she has been successful, I see where her heart is. And so I think that could be diffused quickly enough. And if a guy is going to run away just because you have a successful career, I think he's too superficial of a guy in the first place today. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. This was so helpful. Can you please remind me the name of the book that you read the quote out of? I know you have a lot of books. It was
called How to Find Your Soulmate Without Losing Your Soul, 21 Secrets for Women. And that's at chastity.com. So it's basically 21 chapters on how to avoid losers. And just, the first chapter is the top 10 guys to avoid, but then it's just got different tips on healing and navigating the single years for any girl anywhere from 15 to 35 or whatever, how to find your soulmate without losing your soul.
Okay, I'm going to buy that. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you both.
Happy reading. God bless you.
Thanks, Alexandra.
Amen. Thank you.
Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, I'd encourage you to please like, subscribe, share, comment. That helps show it to more people. And then also submit your question at the email live@chastity.com, or submit your question or call in through our Discord server so we can talk to you in person on our next show.